We get our wager advice from Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com, each and every Thursday. Steve is kind enough to stop by. We go through all the major games across college football, so check out the other team channels in those segments. We've got a big one here at Notre Dame, even though the Irish are out of the national championship race and have been for a long, long time. Clemson is still in the thick of it and have a tricky spot as just a 3.5-point favorite, Steve, on the road at Notre Dame.
Yeah, first let's look at my math projection. I mean, coming into the season, Clemson was like fourth in the national title rankings. They're like 8-1. So this is a team obviously supposed to be very good, supposed to be 8-0. But keep in mind, Notre Dame was, what were they, fifth when the season began against Georgia? I mean, how have they fallen? They're not even really in the top 30. They're not even considering like any extra votes in the top 25 poll at 5-3. I bring that up, though, because I think they become a little bit underrated at this point, and my math simulation feels that way. In fact, they have Notre Dame winning this game outright by a point. So I do think there's some value with the Irish, especially at that key number of plus 3.5 as a live home dog. And I also like the fact they're a good defensive home dog. You know, over the years, everyone's talked about Clemson's defense, and yes, they allow just 5 yards per play. Notre Dame allows 5.2, but it's misleading because Notre Dame has played a tougher schedule of opposing offenses. In fact, Notre Dame is 1 yard per play better defensively than the teams they've played. Clemson is only 0.6. So Notre Dame is the better defense, getting more than a field goal, and we get some line value on top of that. And, of course, it's my chance every week to say DJ Uiagalelei, because this is when he made his first start a couple years ago. He played that BC game. I think that's when he came off the bench the week before 2 years ago, but then he started at Notre Dame, and he played really well. I mean, that was a 47-41 loss as a 5.5-point road favorite. So there's a little bit of a revenge motive for Clemson from a couple years ago. But I think this is Notre Dame's bowl game. You know, and I mentioned that they've had a disappointing season at 5-3. This might be that circle the wagon game, and we'll take a shot with them. The better defensive home dog getting more than a field goal.
Yes, Uiagalelei's coming out party with the all-time passing record against the Notre Dame defense in South Bend in that one in an overtime game. You can catch Steve at wagertalk.com, of course, to get the complete look. Also, check out all of our segments with Steve on the various team channels. But you got to get on over to patreon.com, search MarkRogersTV. You get the Discord link where you can talk college football with the Knuckleheads 24/7, 365. And you get Steve's under-the-radar selection each and every week, 8-1 against the spread. Appreciate you stopping by, Steve.
Thanks, Mark.